Ray. What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Your life is a quest for power. The power to get what you go after. The power that will heal and keep you well. The power to make money. The power to love and be loved. The power to make yourself and those you love happy. All your life, you have been seeking power. You are the central dynamo which can release this power you have longed for. You are surrounded by limitless power. Yet, this power can do nothing until it is directed. This is just as true of spiritual power as of electrical or steam power. Your thought must give spiritual power its direction. You must decide what you want to express. Your choice of ideas determines everything that comes into your life. Choose those words which mean something to you. They will give your desire form. You must do your own thinking. Find your place in the divine plan. Man's part in the divine unfoldment is to recognize what he really is, and through claiming his own to bring it through into expression. Much of man's confusion, sin, sickness, or limitation has been the result of his denial of his divine nature. His belief in an existence apart from God has created negative conditions, but his recognition that God within him is complete changes his order of living and creates abundant life. The infinite responds to man. The substance of everything that man desires, the essence of all life, fills and surrounds him. Man's word speaks forth into form. It fulfills his idea or follows his thought pattern. It responds to his desire completely when he is scientific in his thinking and is convinced about the truth upon which he meditates. Man's consciousness must be freed from lack. Whatsoever negation exists in man's consciousness must be eliminated. Yet we must not fight negation. To do so only gives it power. When we realize the allness of good, negation has no existence. When we feel our oneness with Godness, nothing false can exist. Treatment is the use of power. A mental or spiritual treatment is definite mental work which expresses conditions according to our desires. It does not take into consideration things as they appear to be, but thinks in creative mind the condition as we want it to be. The more specific our treatment, the more positive will be our result. Creative mind accepts our concept and gives it form. The true nature of man is divine. A treatment to be scientific must take into consideration man's real nature. Obviously, man did not create himself. The God mind, which conceived man as a perfect idea, endowed him with the power necessary to unfold this idea, so that man, the image and likeness of God, is the real man to be unfolded. Man, instead of being material and mortal, can be understood as a spiritual reality. He still exists in the God mind as perfect being, and all of his experiences seek to reflect this divine nature. Health, joy, wealth, love, and peace are understood as the natural heritage of the God man. Follow through a creative idea. When we recognize the power contained within the idea which created us, we are unifying ourselves with an infinite force. We should then realize that this power which created us has never left us, but came forth with us, expressing itself as man, so that health, joy, and wealth become the objective expression of this God power. We do not have to create these conditions, but by recognizing the nature of the original power, we let this transcendent presence manifest our desire in all that we are. Recognition of the power enables it to express. The manifestation of this power is complete when we let it do its perfect work. When we can perceive God's perfect idea of perfect man and accept this perfect idea, We open channels in our expression whereby the God idea may manifest. This is why Jesus emphasized so many times that it was the Father within him which did the work. The Spirit indwelling us brings out our true nature. Thought directs substance. The purpose of treatment is to create through spiritual realization that which we want to appear as experience. There is no limitation to what a treatment can do, nor to our ability to give a treatment. Whether we want to demonstrate a peck of potatoes, a rose bush, a new house, a condition in the body, or a new position, the principle is always the same. Through spiritual realization, we create that which we desire to appear as experience. Creative intelligence, which is substance, follows the direction of our thought and assumes the form of our desire. Vision must be turned. We must look away from limitation, lack, discord, and disease, and look toward the self which is the perfect expression of God. Our unification must be complete in the God mind. When we have a specific need, we see the condition in the God mind exactly as we want it to be. This is treatment. Man is spiritual mind. Our realization is the mold which gives form to the substance, spirit. There is just one substance, intelligence, mind, God, or spirit. Our thinking in this substance, not into, gives form to this substance. The substance of all our experiences is the same. We think substance into the form of our desire. Be aware of the good. In treatment, we turn entirely away from the condition as it appears, because as long as we look at the condition, we can never overcome it. We emphasize not the thing to be overcome or changed, but the idea to be expressed. We do not fight disease, but recognize a principle of health which is normal and natural for man to express. Not so much overcoming lack or limitation, but a definite conscious release of abundance. Treatment always builds up something, some idea, some desire, some conception that is to be expressed. The treatment realizes power to be released and then directs it. As we speak our word in the positive way, we will put all our energy into the word to be released, and none of our energy can go into the thing to be destroyed. We think of that which is to be expressed, and the things that are to be removed or the obstructions to be dissipated will eliminate themselves. When we let the negative condition alone, negation will destroy itself as we are concerned with the positive condition to be expressed. A negative condition may not eliminate itself if ignored, but will be eradicated through positive expression. The universe around us reflects our thoughts. When we recognize man as a spiritual being, we see him expressing in a spiritual universe. We see all form as simply the objective expression of spirit, God, or mind. We do not deny the existence of any form, condition, or so-called material object, but we recognize that every form is the expression of intelligence, that every concrete experience is the manifestation of a tangible thought. Regardless of what conditions may exist or what may surround us, we know that thought produces them. Thought will change them. Man, the center of his world. Each person is the point at which the God mind reproduces itself. Whatever man expects or hopes to find in his world must be presented at this point of consciousness as an idea. All experience is the movement of intelligence, the result of man's direction or the reflection of his attitude. The objective appearance must change. The demonstration of health is complete when every appearance of disease or sickness has been removed. Expect your demonstration to be complete. Have no fear. Work scientifically, consistently, and persistently. Recognize that you are dealing with the law of life. Know that it is the nature of principle to respond to itself. Be of good faith. Know that the word you speak is the perfect word of God and establishes itself. Effectual praying is scientific knowing. We do more than pray that aches and pains may be removed or that disease be destroyed. We seek to know our oneness with the perfection of God and realize that God's perfection as health is the life filling us, flowing through every part of our being, vitalizing every cell this moment. To ask God to remove a negative condition would be to recognize it, but to see our oneness with the true nature of God brings through the perfection of God. Thus, the negative condition is automatically wiped out. Ask, and it shall be given. Instead of asking God to give us health, we assume that God, the great creative principle, the presence in us now, is the perfect health filling every part of our being. Instead of asking as though we did not have the thing we desired, we ask believing that we have it now. By realizing that God in us is that health, we simultaneously ask and receive. Every prayer answers itself. Within the prayer, when it is prayed, are all of the elements necessary to bring it through as a manifestation. We identify ourselves in divine mind with the specific thing desired. Therefore, divine mind fills us with the realization of its presence. We lift our thoughts above our need. Where treatment takes place. Treatment takes place within the consciousness of man. Anyone can give a treatment, yet our daily thought or attitude comprises an unconscious treatment. To be successful, it is important to know what we are treating. Treatment takes place within our consciousness. It is mental activity within ourselves, upon ourselves, by ourselves, and for ourselves. Treatment deals with thought. Just as the gardener planting his garden carefully selects the kind and quantity of seed he desires to carry out his plan, so must we know what we are seeking to do with our lives and carefully choose those ideas which will contribute to our unfoldment. Thought is consistently flowing into form. Change your thought between treatments. When you have finished your treatment, turn away from it and let it rest. Keep anxious thoughts about it out of your mind. Know that the treatment is complete within itself. Go about your business and let it do its own work. Repeat treatments. Treat until there is no longer any need for the treatment. Work until the perfect fulfillment is established on the outer plane. The treatment that succeeds. Treatment is based upon the recognition of what man is by nature, not what he seems to be or what he is expressing. All our treatment must realize that God is within every individual. Perfect man, perfect mind, perfect supply, perfect life, perfect health, perfect joy, and perfect peace. There is within me a power which is complete. This power complete within me draws to my conscious recognition everything I need to express and experience. God in me is my perfect health. We recognize God in man as the complete life in man. Whatever we think about the self is identified with God in man and becomes the expression. God in man is recognized as perfect life, expressing health. Man is perfect man, expressing God in a perfect body in a perfect universe. Issue the divine command. We are careful not to petition God for things. We become conscious of our oneness with God, and our positive word speaks this goodness into form according to our desire. Jesus had a positive consciousness of his oneness with God. When he healed, he spoke from this consciousness, giving the specific command. He did not say, "Can you stretch forth your hand?" Nor did he ask, "God, give me the power to heal this man's arm." Within this consciousness of power, he said, "Stretch forth thine hand." Treatment takes place when man, claiming his authority, uses it. Treatment does not affect God. Treatment changes only man's mental attitude, not God's. It creates a receptivity within man's consciousness which lets the God desire manifest. Every thought reveals truth. In the perfect treatment, we are completely conscious of our oneness with the God principle and know that every phase of our thinking is unified with the God mind. Follow a definite plan. In treating, we follow a definite plan, yet we must keep the mind open. Our clearest and most concise idea may expand through illumination. Do not let negative beliefs create. Do not energize false beliefs. Many people are self-hypnotized into accepting limitations. Let the truth about yourself reveal itself to you. Accept, without compromise, your complete freedom. Refuse to let your own thought limit you. Not even the self can limit the self. We should declare our freedom from self-imposed limitations. Become so aware of the truth that you do not possess the power to bind yourself. The power within breaks every bond. If any mental tendencies seem to crystallize conditions around us, we must build a consciousness of power within which equalizes the demand from without. The truth then pushes forth from within into its free and complete expression. Man is free by divine authority. We do not free ourselves through willpower, but because the divine intention within us maintains its own ability to function fully, completely, and freely. Perfection indwells man. The idea back of our manifestation of life is a perfect idea. This thought is the infinite mind is indestructible and changeless and can never be less than the perfection of God. God thought perfect man, perfect expression, perfect universe. Love harmonizes. Resentment can create a chemical reaction in the bloodstream. We cannot have war without hatred. We should free our minds from all resentment, bitterness, and hatred. Divine love within us will find an outlet through us. Divine love harmonizes our thought. God in us is peace. The power is within. Within the real self is power to maintain complete and perfect health in a perfect body. Within the real self is power to sustain at all times the abundant supply. Intelligence responds to intelligence. Treatment realizes that we already live in a perfect universe, which needs to be seen mentally before it can become a part of our experience. We are dealing with intelligence, so we must think. Spirit responds to our word, but if we do not speak the word, we cannot expect the response. Our good will come to us as we are definite and positive in knowing our good. No self-deprecation in God. A person who feels sorry for himself or who thinks that all things are working against him creates more conditions to further his depression. His self-pity is very far-reaching and influences everyone whom he contacts. A person who continually thinks that business is dull draws to himself those who also think hard times or depression. We must reverse this tendency by knowing that God in man is opulent, does not admit poverty, but manifests abundance now. Think prosperity and see abundance. No matter what a person's financial status is, never think of a person as poor, nor see a person as destitute. Go through the appearance and know that the perfect life is abundantly supplying every need. Our helping a person in a material way must not interfere with our God vision. The God power radiates from us, and everyone we meet is helped, strengthened, and prospered because they too have touched our consciousness. Our standard of opulence is maintained. Our clear consciousness draws to us those who think as we do. The standard which we establish automatically attracts those who are similar. The person who wants to be in the atmosphere of abundance must recognize that abundance and opulence are established within his consciousness, and that which is within him is made manifest everywhere. Our thought visualizes that which is prosperous or opulent, and which can abundantly multiply itself. God is expressed. So many times we think treatment is the manipulation of mental laws. Treatment is the release of the presence of God in us. It opens the avenues within our own thought to make us receptive to this God power. keep the new thought. Intelligence is ever moving. Our thought must be constantly expanding. Every day should bring us new ideas about life. Each day we should find new ways of doing our work. Recognize the self. We treat to recognize the ability of the self to know what we have to give in life. Our self-recognition opens the channel for our expression. Have no envy and no belief in competition. Each person's place in life is unique. No one can take from us that which belongs to us and which we have consciously recognized as our expression. Likewise, we cannot deprive another of his good. Know what you want to be and do. The clear conception of what you want to do gives definite direction to your actions. You get no credit for what you do not do. You may rejoice that you are not retrogressing, but you may be standing still. You must project your consciousness in a constructive manner. To go forward, you must have a sense of progress. Not the pitfalls nor mistakes that you have avoided or omitted, but the positive goodness which you have put into your living determines your progress. Life responds to your definite knowingness. Know your perfection. Treatment changes the individual consciousness. Do more than make affirmations about the grandeur, perfection, and glory of God. God knows that God is perfect and good. Realize that the truth about God is the truth in man's consciousness now. Treatment takes place within the self. The person giving a treatment treats himself. He is a center in God-conscious mind. All healing action takes place within his consciousness. He silently realizes that within is the perfect power and life. The substance of everything exists within. That which exists within our consciousness, invisible mind, or intelligence, finds its perfect fulfillment on the outer plane. Parallel action is always maintained between the inner plane of mind and the outer plane of manifestation. A perfect pattern exists within us for everything that takes place in our expression. The inner determines the outer. Do not talk about your demonstrations. When we are working to establish a condition, it is best to keep it to ourselves. Our consciousness, then, will not admit a discouraging word or criticism, but all of our power will be carrying through our vision. How to change conditions. That which exists in our consciousness is reflected in conditions around us. When we change our attitude, conditions assume the form of our new thought. All conditions are mind in action. The clearer our conception of the action of mind, the more positive will be the correspondence on the outer plane. Grow out of situations. We let go of an undesirable condition by knowing that we are through with it, that we have completed it, finished all in it that we were supposed to do, have learned from our experience, and are now ready for something larger. Do not fight an unpleasant environment. That which surrounds us is the manifestation of thought. If it does not fulfill our desire, we change our attitude and create a larger expression. We increase our mold of acceptance. God in man is harmoniously expressed and provides adequate opportunity to express our recognition of what we are. There is no law of reversal to truth. Man's word spoken with conviction cannot be reversed. It is powerless to change itself. The intent within the word gives it its power, and when this purpose is destroyed, the word will cease to exist. A carrot, midway in its development, does not decide to reverse itself and become a turnip or a rose. It carries out the fundamental idea and remains true to its kind. Our word can never fail, but has within itself all power necessary to attain its complete unfoldment. The God-conscious man is God expressed. Primitive people are unexpressed. As man grows in his consciousness of truth, he opens new avenues for his expression. As our appreciation of the joy, beauty, and love of life increases, our expression enlarges. Love, unexpressed, turns inward in self-worship, but expressed helps those around us and gives us a sense of progress. As we recognize our power, we welcome every opportunity for its expression. When we realize our oneness with God, we shall express this oneness in our relations toward our fellow man. Love harmonizes every experience. Each idea must express in its right place. The value of an idea is determined by its use. The rose is just as perfect as the cabbage, and the cabbage is just as perfect as the rose. A dime is just as perfect as $10. Now, where we get mixed up is when we take an idea that does not fit in a certain expression and try to force it. Each idea covers a certain need, and we must recognize that every idea has its purpose and its specific place. This perfect idea must be understood for what it is itself. Work in this definite way and realize that the perfect expression of God power will unfold in everything. We then have the right idea for the right experience, and it is completely fulfilled in our work. God must be expressed in man. We do not confine our meditation upon the abstract, but bring it down to the point of our experience. Air circulates around us, yet only that air which we breathe into our lungs benefits us. Life is everywhere, but must individualize in us for us to live. God is the principle of good surrounding us and in all. Meditation brings God into our experience. More than meditation upon God, it is God in me. More than knowing the truth about God, we must know the truth about man. We know what we can express. We do not fully understand any principle until we can explain it. Regardless of what we are studying, we should increase our understanding. When we are able to put our thought into words, our understanding will be clear. If we are unable to give the gist of a book we have just read, we did not get very much out of it, or else did not exhaust its possibilities. But if we can discuss it intelligently, either pro or con, it has stimulated our thinking and absorbed our attention. Hence, we understand the way the principle works. Work for infinite ideas. Our success is not dependent upon the flow of intelligence in and through us, but upon the specific thoughts in that stream of God intelligence which we individually appropriate and apply in our expression. God and man is complete cooperation. We do not expect an individual to express beyond his ability to comprehend. We must not expect too much of other people. Each individual must express according to his unfoldment. To make demands upon another's ability to express is apt to create confusion. Whenever we need cooperation from life, we must know that God is all, that we do not depend on any person but rely completely upon the all-sufficiency of the God principle which brings full cooperation independent of any and all persons and places. It is not necessary to reveal the cause when anything is wrong. If any disturbance seems to exist in the body or affairs of the individual, we seek the cause and eradicate it. Sometimes we do not find the mental cause or locate the negative belief that produced inharmony, discord, or disease. But when we recognize man as a spiritual reality and know the life within him to be spirit, we release into his affairs power which definitely wipes out any false appearance, regardless of what the condition may be. What we think about, we attract to ourselves. What we think about, we gradually believe in. In order to change our belief, we have to change the thought pattern. We change the idea that we are contemplating, put the new picture before the mind, even though at first we are skeptical about its attainment. We keep bringing this new idea before the mind and meditating upon it. The first thing we know, our belief is established. We become convinced, and the thought becomes the thing. An idea becomes a form. What we call success or failure is the mathematical operation of this principle of intelligence. No idea within itself is evil. Each idea has its proper place and its right expression. What we call failure is due to an inadequate idea. Choose an idea adequate for your need. The divine plan accepts only your success conviction. Evil is the misuse of ideas. When man misuses ideas, he tries to make one thing fit where it could not go. It is like trying to fit a round peg in a square hole. Much confusion that exists in man's affairs is caused by this misapplication. God in me always knows. Intelligence being infinite is never at a loss to know what to do. Infinite mind within us could never be at a loss to provide the right idea for the right acceptance. We can change our belief. We meditate upon that which we know the truth must be. Through logic or reason, we understand that man must be the manifestation of God. We attain a personal conviction that we individually are made in the image and likeness of the divine. Our belief makes abstract truth become personal experience. Present the truth to the self. Perhaps at first, we receive no response. We do it again. We continue presenting the truth to the self until the first thing we know it is established as a conviction. The idea of perfection within, presented over and over to the self, creates our belief. God in me is the source and substance of my supply, and I prosper abundantly. Realize the God power within you is but the point at which infinite principle is finding manifestation. It is not only the source of your supply, the actual substance itself. God within you is the substance and the supply. When you find God within yourself as the source and substance, recognize God as abundant, unlimited supply, wealth, and money. Then, all these things are added unto you. This is a clear exposition of metaphysical law. We maintain solidity in our expression because of unity in our realization. Man's destiny is to become conscious of God's life within him as his complete life, as the only life. He then expresses this God awareness as wealth, happiness, health, joy, love, and peace. Inspiration is the result of definite treatment. When we have brought our own consciousness to the point of its highest attainment through preparation and meditation, the divine fire ignites it. This is inspiration. Oneness. Get a greater sense of the oneness of the self with its source and its expression of that which it is. Do not see incompleteness in your expression. See God as an infinite presence, whole and complete within. Know that your word brings this into your experience. Right now, there is already within you everything necessary to maintain your completeness because God within you is whole. Let your vision grow up. Many people go through life with a small boy vision. We must realize we are divine beings, and if we are to meet our situations in a divine way, we have to meet them as adults. We are not children of God, but are grown to the full stature of the Christ in God, the perfect self within. Each is the individualized expression of God. The Father and I are one. We find what we look for. Error does not have to be uncovered, only eliminated. If you look for error and sin, you will find them. But when you look for the truth, the error and sin will have removed themselves, for God is all. Your business is God's idea. We cannot work without profit. We have to live, clothe, and feed ourselves. Anyone in business is entitled to a profit. Work on the idea of the one life now objectifying in the increased activity which you desire in your business. Feel God activity quickening your consciousness and animating your thought. Know that your business is vitalized and quickened because it is the reflection of your success consciousness. That right now God activity is drawing to you the customers who want what you have to sell, recognize and appreciate its value, and are able and glad to pay for it. Know that you have adequate remuneration for all services. Treatment uncovers the truth. Treatment is definite mental work in which no time element is involved. There is not a step-by-step process that can be put down as a formula. Treatment is knowing the truth about the self. There is within us perfection. Our goal is to attain this in our expression. The power within us is infinite power and manifests according to our self-knowingness. Truth is. Argument changes our belief, yet the truth remains eternal. In realization, our belief perceives the truth and accepts it as knowledge with conviction. We find peace within. If you do not get the realization of the thing you want to manifest, work on peace. Peace. Be still. Recognize the oneness of life within. God in man is all. In times of confusion or pain, keep your mental work simple. God in me, I am one with the One. When you are filled with peace, speak the word for your particular desire. Know the truth. We treat to know the real nature of man, the image and likeness of God. We are the expression or individualization of God. God's man is not subject to disease, lack, hurt, poverty, or unhappiness. This man, the individualized expression of God, is now bringing forth perfection into every part of his being. Be still and know that I am God. The recognition of the presence of God within eliminates all inner conflict and striving and gives peace. No tension and no strain can exist in this consciousness of God. All is harmony and order. The law of being sustains man in joy, love, and understanding. No troubled thought nor anxious feeling can exist in the presence of God. All is confidence and poise, for God is peace. God is greater than any fear that could appear. Nothing can disturb this peace of God within. This peace at the center of man's being is a positive power which permeates the atmosphere. All evil, all discord are dissolved by this presence. Treatments. The perfect life of God in me is infinite in its flow. It is all-powerful, knows no limitation, no space where it does not exist. This infinite life, this life of God in me, is now objectifying itself as my abundant supply. This moment, the life of God is abundantly manifesting wealth, money, and opulence. This moment, I am free to express myself without limitation. The one perfect life of God is all. This day I prosper and succeed. I am confident that everything that I need to know this day will be revealed to me. I put my full power into everything that I do. I am sincerely interested in helping each person with whom I come in contact. I appreciate his point of view and understand his situation. Everything I do today shall be successful. Each endeavor will bring success to me and success to those with whom I work. I think success, expect success, and draw to myself successful people. I am positive in my acceptance of good and am surrounded by those who think success, talk success, and attract success. I have faith. I have faith that the power of God will find its active expression in everything that I do, that my good shall find its full release, that I will put more power into every action, that God in me knows only success. I have faith that right shall triumph in my thinking, that good shall dominate my being, that I shall stand strong in each endeavor, that I shall not slacken my pace nor digress. I have faith that I shall fulfill all that is required of me, that I shall be weighed and found not wanting, that my loyalty to the right is sacred in thought, feeling, desire, and intent. I have faith that No matter where I may be sent or what I may be called upon to do, the progress of my life will be continuous. That no matter how remote my task may seem to be from my life vision, my growth and unfoldment in every experience will relate me to my soul. I have faith that God remains the great creative cause in this universe, that the law of God will remove bondage, aggression, brutality, and greed. I have faith that God's idea of man's relationship with man shall be established. I have faith that God knows what is taking place and that I, an integral part, will do my utmost to let God's thought triumph. The Father and I are one. I am one with this infinite intelligence. The one mind of God is the mind thinking in me and through me. I can never be less than this God-conscious self. Therefore, I know even if I seem to be asleep, dull, or sluggish, this God power within me is still the only power that can ever work or manifest. I am active, alert, and dynamic at all times. Where God is, there is peace. Where God is, there is immediate and instantaneous response. Where God is, there is inexhaustible strength. God in me knows only the perfection of my being. God in me establishes peace in every part of my being. God in me is perfect life, established in perfect body, manifest in perfect affairs, balanced in perfect emotions. God in me is all complete. I rest in peace. I am now at the point in consciousness where my acceptance is complete and full. God in me is all, and I know God to be all. I know nothing other than God. God in me is the perfect self, the perfect health, the infinite wealth, peace, joy, harmony, and the love of life. This God power within me fills my entire being. It is completely established in my body and permeates all my affairs. Everything that my thought touches is quickened. Everywhere is the God presence, the God power, and the God life. God in me is all. God in me does the perfect work. My activity. The activity of God is the activity in me now. I am always ready for any situation which might arise. The power within me is greater than any demand which can be made upon me. I shall be at the right place, at the right time, and with the right people. There is no belief in delay, and all activity is on time. Being fully prepared for each experience, I act without hesitancy or delay. I am confident that the perfect right action of God is established in everything I do. Nothing but myself can affect me, for God in me is conscious of divine protection at all times. I am divinely protected in my affairs and secure under every condition. There is only the one power of good working harmoniously, everywhere present. God in me is the substance of everything that I desire, the substance out of which every need is made manifest. The one activity of God maintains its own infiniteness of being in everything I do. Everything my thought touches expresses harmony. Everywhere I go, there is the full consciousness of success. Everything I touch prospers. Everywhere there is an abundance for the activity of God pushes forth with infinite might, bringing perfection into everything that I do. The one life, the one power is all. I am this moment aware that God in me is the presence, power, and intelligence expressed in my vision. Everything necessary to the complete fulfillment of my vision is now contained within my consciousness. Every channel everywhere is open for the perfect embodiment of my vision. I know that nothing can disturb this. I know that this word, being the creative word, is continuous in its operation. I gladly and joyously accept this vision as the perfect vision here and now. I see myself as God sees me, whole, harmonious, and free. God in me reveals to me the clearness of my mind and the steadfastness of my vision. My mind is one with the one mind of God. In God mind is no confusion, no doubt, no uncertainty, no chaos, no mistrust. My mind realizes my complete oneness with the one mind of God. I see myself as God's idea, without distortion, with every situation in its true perspective, with all conditions as the perfect unfoldment of my God-conscious self. Anything that has made it difficult for me to perceive the truth is completely eliminated by this treatment. I recognize there are no obstacles in my thought. Nothing within my consciousness can in any way delay, distort, nor confuse. My mind is clear, positive, dynamic, and alert now. Divine intelligence guides, leads, and directs me to that which I need to know. There is no loss in divine mind. All things exist in God's mind as ideas. God's mind being everywhere, no person can ever be lost, for the God mind brings to each person the full consciousness of who and what he is. No thing that belongs to me can ever be lost, misplaced, misappropriated, nor stolen, because the God mind is all-revealing, knows all, and uncovers all that I need to know. I do not envy, covet, nor take that which belongs to someone else, and no one could covet, envy, nor take that which belongs to me. My good knows where I am, and nothing can hide it from me, nor hold it back in any way. My own comes to me. Nothing can be lost in divine mind. The mind of God knows itself at every point of manifestation, in everything, person, or condition, knows its value in my possessions, and sustains itself in my property. God's mind is all-knowing. My good is brought to me without delay, without complications, without incriminations. The harmonious right action of God is maintained. All is made known. Instantly, this word is made manifest. I am divinely guided and speak the perfect word. I draw to me those whom I can help and those who will profit by my service. They recognize what I can give, are ready to receive it, and gladly accept it. Every need is met, and what is necessary to be done is being done. I recognize that the unlimited power of God motivates everything that I say, feel, and do. I am receptive to every idea that establishes my good. I know that nothing can separate me from my creative source or the expression of my ability. For God in me quickens my perception and opens all channels for the continuous release of my good. No belief in inherited tendencies can limit me, for I am the individualized expression of God. Nothing in my thought, feeling, or action can resist nor deny the inevitable flow of my good. This moment I recognize my oneness with God. I joyously accept all the privileges of the sons of God, for all that the Father hath belongs to me. I accept this good which is mine. Every breath I draw breathes in the life of God, and I breathe perfectly. My head is purified, strengthened, vitalized as I let this life of God flow through me. Divine love fills my thought. All confusion, doubt, and fear are cast out. Only love, peace, and harmony can abide. This presence, power, and life of God indwells me right now. I am God's perfect health manifesting in every part of my being. I am an open channel through which this perfect health flows continually. I know this is the word of truth. It is all-powerful, having in it everything necessary for its complete fulfillment. I speak this word in divine mind, with faith and assurance that mind accepts it. Mind acts upon it, and I am healed. My word is the presence and power of God in me. I am a healing center in God-conscious mind. God in me, my infinite knowingness, reveals to me all that I need to know. I give thanks that this word is established, and that right now it is complete and it is manifest. There is nothing in me that believes in lack, negation of any kind, confusion, discord, or inharmony. There is no belief in chaos, disease, weakness, or limitation. I recognize the abundance in the universe. I see myself surrounded by plenty. God's universe is orderly and harmonious. I draw on the inexhaustible energy of God. The truth of my perfection in God is revealed to me and established in my experience. This treatment opens the avenues of my thought and expands my consciousness, revealing to me my oneness with all of God. I recognize my unlimited power, the infiniteness of mind in me. I know that in God's mind there is nothing of limitation, nor lack, nor negation. God's mind is the mind in me now, and my mind is infinite in its capacity to think, is unlimited in its perception. This treatment clears my mind so that nothing false nor erroneous can be in my thought. My mind, my thought is pure, clean, and free in its perfection. This treatment removes doubt, completely dissolves fear. This treatment reveals to me my clear, steady, unwavering vision and the perfection which I see is established for me. God in me reveals to me my oneness with the God mind. There is nothing in me that believes in lack of opportunity, lost opportunities, or failure, because God in me reveals to me this moment my real self in its perfection, in its wholeness, and in its completeness of being. I see myself in my God power, recognize my God potentialities, know that this moment every avenue is open that I may consciously express that which I am. God in me is unlimited opportunity within me now. Within me, this moment, is everything necessary for the harmonious expression of what I am. God in me accepts my success and opens every channel everywhere for its expression. God in me is dependent upon neither person, place, nor thing, knows what to do, and produces any change in my thinking which is necessary. Anything which I need to add to my consciousness is this moment given me. Anything that I need to let go of is this moment released. God in me this moment where I am reveals to me my real power. I accept my God opportunity. There is nothing in me that believes in delay, nothing that believes I can ever put off my right activity. This moment, the God power within me is complete and adequate and proves to me my efficiency. Immediate right action is at all times maintained. To start your day right, I thank Thee, Father, for this new day with its new opportunities. I rejoice that God in me will guide me and direct my ways so that my best will find full expression. Everything that I do shall prosper. Everywhere I go, I shall find understanding and joy. Everyone I meet today will be strengthened and enriched, and I shall be blessed. This day, my purpose in life shall be fulfilled. Divine protection today. God in me fills my whole being with peace. I know that the law of my life is good. I am protected at all times. No harm can come to me. No malice, criticism, nor fear has any power, for only good can exist in God. My attraction today. I recognize that nothing can come to me unless my thought permits it. My mind is clear because I recognize God, the only reality, as the good expressing in and through me now. No confusion can exist in my thought, for my mind is one with the mind of God. No discord can enter my consciousness because I know God as love and understanding. My thought reflects itself around me, and I am surrounded by harmony, love, and perfect understanding. Confidence and poise. God in me makes me confident of my success. God in me sustains me so that nothing can disturb me. I am in complete control of myself and every situation which surrounds me. The power within me transcends anything that can manifest around me. I stand steadfast. Increasing my ability. God in me reveals to me what I can do to give my talents full expression. I am ready for a larger and more remunerative experience. Everything necessary is being done to bring this new opportunity into form. My business. I give thanks for the opportunity which I have for service and helpfulness. My work expresses the activity of the one mind. It draws to me those who want that which I have to offer. They recognize the value which they receive and gladly and generously recompense me. My supply. Every avenue of my being is open for the continuous expression of God's abundance, which supplies all that I need and desire. A prayer at evening. I thank Thee for the day just finished, for Thy guidance which directed me, for Thy love which surrounded me, for Thy courage which led me on. I thank Thee for the God which I have experienced today, for the loving kindness which I met, for the helpfulness upon the way. I thank Thee for the opportunities for service which this day brought, for the cooperation and friendliness, for everything that made life bright. All that I have done this day I leave in infinite mind. I rejoice that Thou wilt take all of my honest efforts and increase their effectiveness. I know that all that I did in my sincerity Thou hast accepted, that each effort will be augmented, that any activities which should be redirected or strengthened will find their perfect fulfillment. I know that Thy guiding wisdom will direct my every effort toward the attainment of my perfect life in Thee, that I can never deviate from my God expression, that I can never deny my divine reality, nor can anything ever obstruct the flow of perfect life through me. I rejoice that my increased understanding makes me wiser, more tolerant, and firmer in my conviction that God in me finds perfect outlet. I give thanks to the perfect rest this night, and that refreshed and renewed I shall meet tomorrow with new inspiration, new life, and new power. And so it is. Law of mind. Creative mind is always creative. That is the law of its own being. It does not know that when we think thoughts of despair and entertain fear, we do not desire it to create these conditions, but it must obey our thought. Since we have the power to choose that which we shall think, we can reject the thought which we do not want to objectify and consciously choose the thoughts which will create the type of experience which we desire. This choice must be backed up by conviction. We must get the feeling of our thought objectifying. It is this conviction, or feeling, that gives thought its power. Our negative thoughts sometimes carry stronger emotional feelings than our positive thoughts. Therefore, it is necessary to cultivate strong feeling regarding our constructive desire. As we think about it and mentally live that which we desire to express, our conviction about it will grow. Feeling gives thought the warmth necessary for gestation. The more we cultivate strong emotional feelings such as joy, enthusiasm, and zeal, the greater power we will give to our word. Through choice of words, we control our optimism and good cheer. We can expect things to work out right. We can anticipate good. In this way, we discover the law of right action always operating to fulfill our positive, constructive word. As we think at the center of our being, where all is good, our power assumes form. Positiveness is the only law of being. Thus, our constructive word comes to fruition. The time to act. The time to act is when you get an idea. Ideas do not appear at random or as casual experiences. Each idea has a pattern, a design, and a plan. When it appears, learn to act on it quickly. To ignore it or postpone it is to deprive it of its power. To be effective, the idea requires instant acceptance on your part because it may involve a time element. Perhaps it cannot be fulfilled for a week or on a certain date. Don't let that deceive you. When it appears, you either accept it or reject it. Although you may not think you can act on it on its due date, the moment you receive it is the time for action. Therefore, affirm this new project idea as acceptable by you this moment, that it is established in divine principle, and that everything necessary for complete fulfillment is included now, this very moment. Neglecting to take this affirmative, instantaneous action of acceptance can result in all sorts of delays. The immediacy of the idea's creativity can be delayed only by you. Lack of recognition is a neutralizing power. Don't let this happen to you. It is not necessary to know how the idea is going to be fulfilled, but it is necessary to know that divine principle knows how and includes that know-how as it is revealed to you and unfolded in your consciousness. Keep your acceptance current. The law of purpose. Successful people are motivated by purpose, and all of their activities are geared toward achieving that goal. The purpose must be one in which you can put all your creativeness. Your interest must be all-consuming. Lacking a powerful, positive purpose, an individual's life has no direction. Lethargy and inertia are bound to settle in. Fortified with a purpose, you can never settle for halfway measures. You know where you are going and why. What you do is important to you because life is important. This purpose gives direction to all activities. This does not necessarily mean that you are single-minded, although extreme specialization seems to be the rule with physicians, lawyers, and business consultants. In other areas, exactly the opposite is the case. For instance, President Dwight Eisenhower, a multi-talented individual, was an outstanding military figure, statesman, and painter. Similarly, Winston Churchill was a great naval officer, statesman, painter, and author. Many famous athletes, actors, and writers have become musicians of note. But whatever the purpose, whether it seems great or small, the intensity of your creativeness and enthusiasm gives it its power. It must have tremendous meaning to you, and you must have great anticipation of its complete fulfillment. Believe in your divine calling. Even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in you. While you may have many problems and face almost insurmountable difficulties, your power is in your purpose. You must know where you are going and why, and you depend on a guiding intelligence to get you there. It is much easier to work successfully when you relate your purpose to life. The athlete may not particularly enjoy strenuous exercise and discipline, but he or she relates it to the strength and power necessary for attainment. Without purpose, you scatter energy. Purpose conserves and directs. The purpose in treatment is not merely to control your thinking, but to develop the power of creative thought so that you can produce in your experience the conditions you desire. The sincerity of your purpose controls everything that you do. You can attain your objective. And so it is. Keep on the path. If you create something you do not like, you can change it. What you create, you can uncreate. If conditions do not loosen their grip on you, perhaps you are not in your effective place. Consciousness establishes its own conditions. If things in your outer world are not moving fast enough, you need to clear your consciousness. Perhaps you are not doing what you really want to do and are trying to use willpower to make things happen. Don't try to go through the stone wall. Go back in consciousness. Change your idea. Change your evaluation. Resistance, obstructions, and opposition could mean you are off your path. Get still and let the new idea come through. Find yourself on your right path. Here, things work smoothly, joyously, and powerfully. Stop struggling and forcing, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit. Let God be you. The law of belief. You are surrounded by many beautiful things, most of which you take for granted or accept in a cursory sort of way. You accept them without giving them any deep meaning. You are apt to have that same attitude toward great truths. You give lip service but miss the deep meaning that would revolutionize your life. Mind is all. God is the only power. God is love. You could go on and on. You know the commandments, the axioms and aphorisms of truth. You can recite them by heart. However, to prove these truths and live them makes a greater demand upon you. You are surrounded by a principle of wealth which is imploring you to accept it and use it. You need a personal commitment. Emerson said that if he took unto himself all the beauty which surrounded him, he would surely give it out again. He identified with the beauty of the mountains and became part of what he was beholding. That is what is meant by consciousness. You are surrounded by prosperity and great good. Consciousness reaches out, recognizes what it beholds, accepts it, and makes it part of your being. This develops a new terminology. You are surrounded by limitless good. You can affirm you have abundant wealth. All of that can be true. You have all these potentials of being, but you must use them. This is where consciousness comes in. Having all wealth and all health does not necessarily imply that you are taking advantage of what is included for you. A definite creative step is necessary. You have abundant wealth and you work mentally to have the consciousness of what you have. You create the consciousness of abundance and acquire the consciousness of prosperous being. That will do the trick. You get the consciousness of having it. Consciousness is the key to demonstration. It opens your mind to limitless possibilities. You do not merely affirm what you have, you affirm that you have the consciousness of being successful. Someone may be waiting for you in your reception room, but this would not imply that you knew they were there. Consciousness connects you with the fact or the truth of being. You are, in your experience, what you are conscious of being. The whole universe is yours, but you can appropriate only according to your consciousness. All things that the Father hath are mine, but it is obvious that you can actually have only that of which you are conscious. From this, you can see that you should treat or pray not merely for what you want, but for the consciousness of being what you want. You live in a world of great beauty, and you can become conscious of this. Limitless abundance is yours, and you can become conscious of what you want. Consciousness identifies with your good and makes it part of your being. Infinite mind knows no limitation and manifests according to the law of consciousness. You are limited by your belief, but you are not limited by principle. Your potentials are inexhaustible, but your consciousness is the determining factor. You have a little or a lot. The infinite does not care and does not restrict. Bigness brings consciousness forth. Smallness contracts. You are big. And so it is.